Your top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. 7-year-old boy found with throat slashed. Elderly relative survives brutal attack at ZEELUGT home. Government breaks silence on Powership talks. APNU demands answers on Powership deal. Family, friends hold vigil for Jukim Cipio, demand justice. And TEIXEIRA says is perception-based, not proof of corruption. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Friday, June 5 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. We open your broadcast this evening with a devastating story. Crime scene investigators have descended upon the east bank of Essequibo as they search for those responsible for the killing of a child and the hospitalization of his 72-year-old great-aunt. More details in this report. A 7-year-old boy was brutally killed and his 72-year-old great-aunt seriously wounded during a violent early morning attack at their ZEELUGT East Bank Essequibo home on Friday. Dead is Adriel Aftab Mohammed, a student of ZEELUGT Primary School. The child was discovered shortly after 5 a.m., lying motionless in a pool of blood inside the family's home, while his great-aunt, Alima Itwari, was found critically injured nearby after suffering a stab wound to the neck. According to police, the horrifying discovery was made by the woman's son, Nasib Mohammed, who said he received a telephone call informing him that screams had been heard coming from his mother's residence.
And when I came, I pushed the door, went inside. I put on the lights, because the place was dark. Saw my mother lying on the ground. I thought, the first thought came to my mind that, she's dead. And then I look up a little more in the house. I saw my great nephew on the ground. I went over to him and I look at him. I see he had a cut to his neck.
The pastor immediately rushed his injured mother to the Dikindran Regional Hospital, where she remains admitted in a stable condition. Investigators later arrived and processed the scene. A blood-stained kitchen knife was recovered from a bed inside the house, while investigators also found several blood-stained footprints in one of the bedrooms.
Well, I don't know what can be the motivation. My mother is not a rich woman, and then she is 72 years old. She has had stroke, right, over a year now.
While receiving medical treatment, the elderly woman reportedly told investigators that she was asleep when she felt an object pressed against her neck. Upon opening her eyes, she allegedly saw a tall, thin person who then stabbed her.
And the boy was there with us yesterday. I dropped them home around 9:30. We didn't expect, you don't know these things would happen.
Police have since questioned several persons in the area and are reviewing CCTV footage from nearby properties as they intensify efforts to identify and arrest the suspect. The motive for the attack remains unclear. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The government has finally broken its silence on ongoing negotiations with Powership for the continued supply of electricity to Guyana, hours after the parliamentary opposition sought answers in Parliament. Public Utility Minister Deodat Indar says talks are still underway. Here is more from Marvin Cato.
The government of Guyana on Thursday finally broke its silence on ongoing negotiations with Powership for the continued supply of electricity from 2 Turkish power ships, just hours after the parliamentary opposition sought answers in the National Assembly about the status of the discussions. In a statement issued by Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation Deodat Indar, the government said negotiations with Powership remain ongoing and assured the public that efforts are being made to secure the most favorable commercial terms for Guyana. Quote unquote, there has been much commentary on the renewal of the contract between the Guyana Power and Light Inc. and UCC JV with Powership. I would like to assure the public that the government of Guyana is working in the best interests of the people of Guyana to get the best possible commercial rate for the renewal of the contract, the minister stated. The statement comes amid concerns about the future of the Powership arrangement after Powership previously warned that it could cease supplying electricity if a new agreement was not concluded by June 1. Minister Indar sought to reassure consumers that the country is not facing power shortages due to a lack of generating capacity. Quote unquote, I want to reassure the population that no power outage is occurring due to a lack of power generation. Rather, there may be power outages due to maintenance of the power grid and interruptions caused by private contractors, he said. He further disclosed that while negotiations continue, the Powerships remain connected to the national grid and are supplying electricity without interruption. Quote unquote, we continue to be in the negotiation process while the Powership maintains an uninterrupted supply of electricity to the national grid, the minister added. The government has faced criticism in recent days over its reluctance to publicly address the status of the negotiations, despite repeated questions about contingency plans should one or both Powerships be taken offline before the completion of the gas-to-energy project. Earlier on Thursday, APNU Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal submitted a letter to Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, requesting that an oral question without notice be directed to Minister Indar on the matter. Among the issues raised by Mahipal were whether Powership had demanded payments beyond the terms of the existing contract, and if so, the amount being requested and the justification for those demands. The opposition parliamentarian also sought information on whether the government had assessed the potential impact on the national electricity grid if either or both Powerships cease operations before the gas-to-energy project comes on stream, and what measures were being implemented to prevent widespread blackouts and load shedding. The minister's statement did not directly address those specific questions, but indicated that the public would be informed once negotiations are completed. Quote unquote, the public will be apprised at the appropriate time on the completion of the contractual negotiations between the Guyana Power and Light Inc. and UCC JV with Powership, the statement concluded. The two Powerships currently provide a significant portion of Guyana's electricity generation capacity. Marvin Keto, reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Gail TEIXEIRA has pushed back against the use of Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index to assess Guyana's corruption record, arguing that the index is based on perception and should not be treated as proof of actual corruption. Here is more.
Asked the minister explain why Guyana continues to rank poorly on the Corruption Perceptions Index and related governance indicators, despite workshops, public statements, and government commitments to transparency. In response, TEIXEIRA questioned the basis of the question, stating that the government could not identify the specific World Bank corruption indicator referenced by the opposition MP. She argued that these assessments include disclaimers and are based on staff judgment rather than a formal position of the World Bank's executive directors or member governments. Turning to Transparency International, TEIXEIRA said the latest Corruption Perceptions Index was for 2024 and maintained that the CPI does not measure actual levels of corruption.
It admits in its documents that the CPI, that is the Corruption Perception Index, does not measure actual corruption levels. As a quote from it. Instead, it reflects perceptions. And it is fundamentally important to note that these perceptions are influenced by a range of subjective factors.
But while Transparency International is recognized by the most countries in the world, the minister told the House that the government does not accept the index as a definitive measure of corruption, saying it is not based on direct empirical evidence of corrupt acts.
That is why we say we do not uphold the Transparency International. And many countries don't, because they know it is perception-based, no data, no information, and based on what they pick up from the two people who may be the people they ask every year. And the two, I said many very clear, based on population, it could be 1, 2, or 5.
She also did not directly acknowledge or engage in detail with the recommendations that usually accompany concerns about corruption perception. Instead, TEIXEIRA argued that Guyana should not be judged solely by international perception surveys, particularly when many countries in the global south often rank lower countries in the global north.
When you look at the Transparency International, it receives funding from 14 countries, main countries. That's how it's able to operate. And all of the 14 countries receive rankings of between 60 and 90. And coincidentally, these countries that receive ranking of between 60 and 90, which is the highest scores, are all from the global north.
While TEIXEIRA maintained that the Corruption Perception Index is not proof of corruption, the Parliamentary Exchange highlighted a broader issue: whether the government is prepared to answer perception concerns with concrete data. Antonio D reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Courts has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Courts, bringing value home.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rao Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Rao Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. Family members, friends, community residents, and political figures gathered in Cipio on Thursday night for a candlelight vigil in support of 19-year-old Jukim Cipio, the laborer who remains hospitalized after being shot during a police operation last week. A solemn but emotional vigil was held Thursday night at the Cipio location where 19-year-old Jukim Cipio was shot during a police operation last week, as relatives, friends, community members, and political representatives came together to demand answers and justice. Holding candles and placards, participants gathered at the scene of the shooting, offered prayers for Cipio's recovery, while calling on authorities to provide a full account of what transpired on the day he was injured. Faith Fordyce is the mother of Jukim Cipio.
Right now I need justice for my child because he deserves what the police do. And I need justice for my child. For shoot it down like a dog and then you shy like a dog, they treat it like a dog and like a real criminal.
Fordyce expressed frustration over the silence of the Guyana police force since the incident occurred. Cipio remains hospitalized and is receiving treatment for a gunshot injury. Relatives said the bullet remains lodged near his spine and that his recovery continues to be a difficult process.
The boss stop the police, them can stop shooting the children them after they can just now. We not gonna get no children in the place. They're gonna kill. I standing as a mother for all the children, for mothers. Look out for your children, them with the police, them that's unfair. My child has worked hard. My child is not a criminal. The police, them know the criminal, them.
The shooting occurred during a police operation in Cipio. Police have stated that ranks were attempting to apprehend Cipio in connection with an alleged robbery under arms investigation when he was shot. However, relatives have disputed the police's version of events and have maintained that he may have been wrongfully targeted.
And when I see him put the gun back back to my child, I don't crack the gun again. I try myself for my child. I need justice.
Thursday night's vigil served both as a show of support for the injured teenager and a public appeal for justice, with those gathered urging investigators to conduct a thorough and impartial probe. The Office of Professional Responsibility has indicated that its investigation into the shooting remains ongoing. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The Guyana Power and Light Incorporated will begin implementing the monthly $30,000 electricity subsidy for pensioners starting this June. This was announced by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. Marvin Cato reports.
Subsidy in their bill dated June 2026.
While postpaid customers will see the subsidy reflected on their monthly bill, eligible prepaid customers will see the subsidy available in their prepaid wallet and can be accessed by visiting any GPL commercial office. The annual subsidy forms part of government's commitment to improve the welfare and the quality of life of elderly citizens. The initiative is aimed at providing meaningful relief by offsetting electricity costs, therefore supporting greater affordability of an essential service.
Now, to benefit from this, you have to be a pensioner who owns their meter or has a GPL account. If you don't have a GPL account, then this does not apply to you.
Meanwhile, the Guyana Power and Light Inc. GPL, in a statement, said it is pleased to support this ongoing government initiative, which continues to deliver tangible benefits to senior citizens by easing the burden of electricity costs and contributing to their overall well-being and quality of life. Marvin Cato, reporting for HGP, the Nightly News.
Leader of the Alliance for Change, David Patterson, says Guyana must treat the early exit of young males from school as a serious national concern, warning that the failure to keep boys engaged in education and training could contribute to youth unemployment and crime.
David Patterson, leader of the Alliance for Change, warned that the failure to keep boys engaged in education and training could contribute to youth unemployment and a life of crime. Patterson's comments come amid concerns about students leaving school around grade 9, with boys reportedly more affected than girls. The questions derived from a recent report from the United Nations Development Project, which highlighted various issues including the rate of high school dropouts, particularly with males. The AFC leader said the issue is troubling because young men who fall out of the education system without employable skills can become more vulnerable to negative influences.
What the education ministry should doing is that not one size fits all. If they see they should stream, we reckon that they should stream our youths earlier. If they find it out that some of our males are not academically so academically inclined, they should be streamed early, as it used to be done years ago.
He argued that the country must examine the environment in which boys are being raised, including the decline of strong male role models in schools, homes, and communities. According to Patterson, many boys are also growing up in a society where they see people gaining status and wealth through questionable means, which can distort their understanding of success.
And the role models for our males have been dwindling. The role models in which they see themselves are the new rich who acquire their wealth in less honest ways than previously.
He added that while all students should continue to study core subjects, not every child should be pushed into taking a large number of academic subjects if their strengths are better suited to skilled trades or technical training.
In the multilaterals, it's a prime example that you could have gone to the multilateral and you could have gone into technology stream, which is woodworking, metalwork, whatever it is, and you can build a career off of that. This one-size-fits-all approach definitely needs addressing.
Meanwhile, the Board of Industrial Training, BIT's Chief Executive Officer Richard Vaughan, in an invited comment, told this newscast that the Technical Institute has seen continued growth over the years through programs such as the National Training Project for Youth Empowerment, which was launched in 2005. He said the agency is now training an estimated average of more than 3,000 persons annually. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
This is the HGP Nightly News. There is more news ahead. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Hey, stop, I don't go away when you don't eat food, you know. You got fair wash up because I did my nails. When is somebody going to make a nice cake? Is my good cake on upon the same?
Madam, I got a call from the people in the community, and they said you are disturbing the peace. You're smelling up the place, and you're doing something, but your food always seems to smell good.
Peppies, you get the best on these things.
These things just make you cook good. I want these things, and I'll carry them for evidence.
I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Quartz has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Quartz, bringing value home.
Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. Parents in Mocha, Providence, and Prospect are set to benefit as the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security opens its day-night care and early childhood center. You'll hear more from Marvin Cato.
Working parents on the East Bank of the Mara now have access to free, high-quality childcare and early childhood development services following the announcement by Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad. Minister Prasad said the facility is ready to be used to offset another financial burden that is known for weighing families down.
Our day-night care early childhood facility is complete. We are asking you to register your children.
Minister Prasad engaged staff and the stakeholders as authorities continue efforts to increase access to quality childcare services across the country.
This is located in Providence, close to Mocha. So it serves these three communities, and it's a free service.
According to the minister, the state-of-the-art facility offers free day and night childcare services and early childhood development programs, providing much-needed support to working families and parents pursuing educational opportunities. Strategically located close to three communities, this new facility will bring much-needed relief. Children from nursery or early primary school could also be facilitated after school is over while their parents are still at work. A similar facility was also opened on Wednesday in the Young Professionals Housing Scheme at Little Diamond and adjacent to the site earmarked for a new primary school. Both centers are designed to serve as a safe, nurturing, and stimulating environment for infants, toddlers, and young children. The facility in Little Diamond can accommodate up to 50 children and is equipped to support early learning and childhood development while offering parents peace of mind as they work, study, or attend to other responsibilities. At the beginning of 2026, the government announced plans to intensify investments in early childhood and family development programs as part of efforts to improve social services and promote greater economic participation. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day reports now that in celebration of World Environment Day, Recover Guyana hosted its Shout for Change national finals on Friday. The event featured 20 talented finalists who were narrowed down to 10 top contenders for the impromptu speaking competition.
Regan Griffith of Abramsdale Secondary highlighted AI's role in disaster prediction, using data like satellite imagery and rainfall patterns to forecast floods and detect wildfires. He noted that this enables timely evacuations and reduced losses. Data science through sensors and drones enhances monitoring and provides actionable insights. Martha Bynott of Bladenhall Secondary emphasized that as fossil fuels decline, renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower are essential. She noted that despite their reliance on weather and the need for better storage solutions, they provide clean alternatives. Engineering also fosters energy-efficient housing and sustainable urban planning for resilient communities. Brandon Holder of Hope Secondary School impressed judges and the audience alike with his insights on engineering solutions for sustainable urban development.
One effective engineering solution is energy-sufficient housing. Engineers can design larger windows and improve ventilation systems to reduce the usage of electric fans.
Other important topics included biotechnology's role in ecosystem restoration, presented by Janet Torres, Huru Secondary, environmental trade-offs and of large-scale renewable infrastructure, by Jelena Komako of J.C. Chandy Singh Secondary, and hydrology's critical contribution to addressing global water scarcity, by Raphael Jacobis of Laguan Secondary.
Renewable infrastructure may temporarily alter our landscapes, but climate change threatens to permanently destroy them. Therefore, let us rise with innovation, courage, and accountability so that our generation is remembered for making a difference. I thank you.
The debate between reactive versus proactive climate strategies was tackled by Angelica Timmerman of Linden Foundation Secondary, while Kamani Halley of North Georgetown Secondary highlighted Ghana's success in food security through agricultural science. Energy storage innovations necessary for a renewable energy grid were addressed by Randy Mangle of Skeldon Langparth Secondary, while Emma Monroe of St. Joseph High School demonstrated how geographic information systems enhance environmental planning. Scientific challenges in transitioning to circular economy were outlined by Elijah Rantusi of Stewartville Secondary, and Bhumika Singh of Tagore Memorial explained how atmospheric science deepens understanding of extreme weather events linked to global warming. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Hailing from the vibrant village of the Namstel on the west coast of Demerara, an area affectionately known by locals as the Best Side, Chris Nelson is steadily carving out a name for himself on the local music scene. Antonio Day sat down with the 26-year-old and he reports now.
In an exclusive interview with HGP Nightly News, 26-year-old Chris Nelson shared that his love and passion for music came from listening to prominent artists like Taris Riley, Natural Black, Juma Primo, Christopher Martin, among others. Growing up in Den Amstel, a community known for its close-knit spirit and love for the arts, Chris's song was also deeply influenced by rhythms and stories of his surroundings.
I had a style in which you sing, tell stories, you could feel it, and that is what drives me to reggae music. But recently, I started transitioning into groovy music, groovy soca. Still try to maintain the concept of storytelling.
His music resonates with authenticity, blending traditional elements with contemporary styles, which has earned him growing respect and admiration among fans and peers alike. Nelson, who is an electrical engineer and mathematics tutor by profession, noted that balancing music as well as life's responsibilities are no walk in the park. But according to him, he has learned effective time management and prioritizing. Nelson's transition into soca has left his fans in awe, but clearly demonstrates his potential for greater regional and even international recognition.
The Guyanese talents are extraordinary, our artists. It's just that, we just got to keep building and trying to put our platform internationally.
As Chris Nelson continues to develop his artistry, his story inspires young musicians from Den Amstel and beyond to pursue their passions with commitment and pride. His journey not only celebrates personal achievement, but also shines a spotlight on the cultural richness of the west coast of Demerara corridor.
Sometimes when you do music, some persons might say, yo, I going through the, or I went through the, right? So what you can expect from Chris Nelson is real life experience type of music.
Looking ahead, Chris is poised to make even greater strides, promising to bring fresh songs and meaningful messages to the broader musical landscape. Nelson's music can be accessed on platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Guyana, up your cash. Over 100 winners. More than $2.5 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Win cash every week. Plus a chance to up your cash to $500,000. And that's not all. Win back your grocery bill up to $20,000 cash every week. Just grab any Buster Turbo Energy Drink, Fruitopia, Oasis flavored water, Fruita, or Viva Sparkling flavored water. Look for the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana on Facebook or Instagram for details. Up your cash today.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Day. Here's what you need to know as we turn attention to news in the region. Canada says it will deploy an estimated $97 million through a GAIA climate loan fund, which is designed to provide long-term loans for climate adaptation and mitigation projects across emerging markets and developing economies. It specifically targets regions highly vulnerable to climate change, including least developed countries and small island developing states. A government statement issued on Thursday following talks between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley said that Canada viewed the GAIA Climate Loan Fund as a platform to reduce the burden of public dollars by adding private and philanthropic financing to fund development projects. The statement said that two leaders welcomed the announcement earlier this week that the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank Board of Directors had the first loss portfolio credit guarantee with the Government of Canada. Still with news in the region, Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis urged Caribbean leaders to stop depending on global financial systems, he said, which were not built for the region, warning that survival is no substitute for building institutions capable of shaping the Caribbean's future, such as the Caribbean Export-Import Bank. Addressing the 56th annual meeting of the Caribbean Development Bank in New Providence, under the theme, Forging the Caribbean's Future, Davis said the region had spent too long enduring economic shocks, climate disasters, and financial constraints instead of reshaping the conditions that produced them. He pointed to Africa's creation of its own financial path, citing the African Export-Import Bank as an example of how developing regions can build institutions to serve their own interests. He said Afri-Exim Bank has increased its commitment to the Caribbean from $3 billion to $5 billion and has already deployed hundreds of millions of dollars in financing across the region. He also welcomed discussions about creating a Caribbean Export-Import Bank. The Prime Minister said resilience alone is no longer enough, arguing that a region limited to enduring shocks is poor, more fragile, and more dependent. And finally, with international news, Lebanese President Joseph Aoun slammed Iran in a rare exclusive interview with CNN, accusing Tehran of using its war-torn country as a bargaining chip in its conflict with the US and Israel. Aoun also said his country's people are fed up with the war between Israel and Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. Israeli strikes on what it said were Hezbollah targets killed 4 people on Friday in Lebanon, despite a US-mediated truce extension in the country. Military solutions will never bring security and safety to Israelis living in the north or of their country, Aoun said, urging Israelis to solve disputes through negotiations instead. In an interview with CNN's Christiane Armanpour, Aoun asked Israeli people whether they really want to live in a perpetual war, adding that the state of hostility between Israel and Lebanon must end forever. Lebanon and Israel have technically been in a state of war since Israel's establishment in 1948. That has brought us to the end of Friday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Dave. Thank you for watching and do have a fantastic weekend. Goodbye.
Let's join Delwyn Neblett now for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblett with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Friday, June 5th, 2026. We begin tonight with football. The Ghana Football Federation has officially conducted the draw for the 2026 Elite League Qualification Playoff, featuring 7 champion clubs: Pataru Strikers FC, Paradise Invaders FC, Mahika Determinators FC, Queenstown FC, Camptown FC, Beavers FC, and Tabera United FC. The single elimination tournament begins June 13th, with the winner earning direct promotion to the 2026-2027 Elite League. The runner-up will face the Fruta Conquerors in a promotion playoff for the final spot. Competing teams were allowed to register up to 25 players and 5 officials. More in football action continued in the Ghana Football Federation's 2026 Blue Waters Shipping Under-15 Girls National Secondary School Championship, with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Thursday. In match number 1, Marian Academy demolished North Georgetown Secondary 20-0 as captain Skylar de Nobrega delivered a masterful 6 goals, and both Kaylee Todd and Ella Fernandez were sensational with 4 goals each. Ashley Walton delivered a superb hat-trick as Haley Habercorn, Destiny Hector, and Gianna Ramatar each scored once in a winning effort. In match number 2, East Randville Secondary secured a narrow 2-1 victory over Tuckville Secondary on the back of goals from Jada Sampson and Rodlisa Collins. Tuckville's Mariah Campbell scored once in a losing effort. Into squash, action commenced in the Ghana Squash Association's 2026 ENET Senior National Championships at the National Racket Center in Georgetown on Wednesday. After 2 nights of action, the tournament continues tonight with quarterfinal fixtures, while the grand finals are set to be played on Saturday. Top contenders remaining on the men's side include Samuel Ince Carvajal, Daniel Ince, Jason Ray Khalil, and Alex Arjun, while the women's side will see fierce competition from Ashley Khalil, Mary Fangafat, Absodi Kadagan, and Paige Mendonca. Into rugby, Ghana senior men's rugby team, the Green Machine, are set to take on Barbados in the 2026 Rugby Americas North Tier 2 Championship at the Garrison Savannah in Bridgetown on Saturday. Led by Captain Rondell MacArthur, Team Guyana has been preparing intensely as they seek redemption after their previous defeat against Bermuda. The match commences at 12 hours noon and guarantees to be fiercely competitive, as both regional pride and valuable RAN Tier 2 points will be at stake. Finally, in cricket, the West Indies senior women's side have officially been crowned champions of the 2026 Avara Women's T20 International Tri-Series after the final match between Ireland and Pakistan was unfortunately abandoned due to rain. Both the West Indies and Ireland finished on 10 points. However, the West Indies successfully claimed the title with a superior net run rate. West Indies won their first 2 matches before losing a close contest to Ireland and having the final match against Pakistan abandoned. The series victory gives the women in maroon a huge confidence boost ahead of the upcoming Women's T20 International World Cup, where the campaign commences against New Zealand at the Aggies Bowl Cricket Ground in West End, Southampton on June 13th. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
Seven-year-old boy found with throat slashed. Elderly relative survives brutal attack at ZEELUGT home. Government breaks silence on KARPOWERSHIP talks. APNU demands answers on Powership deal. And family, friends hold vigil for Jukim Cipio as they demand justice. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.